Hello friends, welcome back. If you're planning to create a React or React Native project professionally or personally, then this is a go-to video because sooner or later you're gonna need to manage state in your project. And this video provides you complete solution to get a kickstart about using Redux with React or React Native. With the context setup, I am Shubham, a software developer, and my goal is to share concepts which I know with you guys. And now let's start the video. The first thing that we are going to do is create store. And for creating a store, we will have to import Redux. So let us install Redux so that we can import it. For installing Redux, let us open the terminal and type the command npm install Redux. And this is going to add a dependency in your package.json file. And now our Redux is installed. Let us import Redux. For creating a store, we will have to import a function called create store. Create store is a function that requires a reducer. So before writing create store, let us create a reducer. So reducer is a function which takes two parameters. First is state and second is action. We'll be talking about action later. Let us talk about state. So state is an object where we are going to store our data and we are going to use the same data from this state. So a reducer will require a initial state. So let us create a initial state here. And we have created our initial state for our reducer and let us assign it to reducer. Now our reducer is somewhat ready, so we will have to do something inside reducer, but we will discuss it at some other point. So let us create a store now. As we know, we will need a reducer for creating a store, so let us add the reducer here. Now our store is ready. The next thing that we want is that our store is available to all the React components. So for doing that, we will have to install React Redux. And for installing React Redux, we will follow the same command npm install React Redux. Now library is installed. Let us import it. So for making store available to all our React components, we will need a provider here. So we will import provider from React Redux and we are going to pass it inside render. So let us use it here. Now I have added the provider here. Now provider demands a store variable or we will pass the store to provider. For doing that, we will have to do it like this. We have a store ready and we are passing it. So we can see the error has gone, and by doing that, any component that is coming after app.js will have its store available, but you won't be able to use the same store using provider inside app component. Now that we have made store available to all the components, now we will want that all our components have access to that store. So for doing that, we will have to use connect function present in React Redux. So let us import it and use it. So this is how we will made our state available to all the components. So at this point, the state is available. Now we want to use state inside this component. Connect takes first parameter using which we can use state in this component. Let's create that function. So we are going to name it as map state to props. These functions take two parameters. The first one is mandatory and second one is optional. So we are going to use the first one, and the first parameter is state. The state is same value that we have used in the reducer. So we are going to get the same object here, and this function returns an object, and the object which is returned from this function is merged with the props of the component. So let us add the key value here. So we are going to name the key here is name, and we are going to use that name that we have present in the initial value inside this initial state. So we are going to use that same value and pass it under the key name inside this component. The next thing that we are going to do is pass it to connect, and let's save it. And we see that our app breaks here. The reason behind breaking is that we have not returned a state value from here. The reason behind passing the state value from here is whenever the app is instantiated for the first time, the control for the first time comes here to take the initial state value. So that's why we have not passed anything. And when we were trying to use that state here, so this state was coming as undefined and it was throwing an error. So now we have that state variable available in the component. We can use it now. So for using it, we will have to access props here inside the component. So let us use that, and we can see we have removed the name here, and we are going to use it through the props. And let us save it again, and we can see that name has appeared again. At this point of time, we have store ready, we have connected our component with the store, and we have used that state variable from store inside our component. Now the requirement can be extended to a case when we want to update the state. So how do we do that? So for doing that, let us first create a button here. So this button will trigger the state change of the store. And we'll be adding a function call at this point. So we have created a button here, and we can see that the button has appeared on the UI. So for triggering state change, we will have to create something called actions. So action is a pure function which is going to return an object to us. So let us create an action first. And as you know, it returns an object. Let us return an object from this action. Conventionally, every action should have something called type, which our reducer identifies. So we are going to name the type as type, and we are going to pass some value, which is something broke. So our action is ready. Now the task that we wanted to do is make a state trigger. So for that, we will use the connect function again. Connect takes a second parameter, which is map dispatch to props. So this help us trigger the state change for store. So let us create this function. And this function takes two parameters. The first one is dispatch and the second one is the props. The second one is optional and the first one is mandatory. So we are going to use dispatch here also. So the return value for this function is again an object, and this object will again be merged with the props of the component. For triggering state change, every action should pass through dispatch function. So we are going to wrap our action with the dispatch function and pass it to component so that component uses it directly. Now our dispatch function is ready. We can pass this function to connect. So map dispatch to props is available to the component, and now we can use this inside the component. So let us use it. We have button ready and we have a function written in this component for this button. So we will use this and make a trigger to the action. So we will do with By this way, we are going to trigger action on the reducer. So now that we have mentioned that we have a type called type in the action, we will have to make these changes inside reducer. So let us make that change. As a default case for the switch function, we can pass state as it is, and we can safely remove this return statement that we have added in the previous sections. So our reducer function is ready, and we can see when we trigger this function of the button, we will see a log inside reducer. We will put a log as well, so that we can check whether our call is coming or not. Let us trigger the button and we should see this log inside reducer. So we can see that we are not getting any logs. The problem lies here is that we have not called the actual action inside dispatch function. So we will make this change and refresh it again. Let us trigger the button and we will see the logs in the browser console. If you're not seeing the logs in a browser console, check your server console in the terminal. And we can see that text on the UI has changed and the logs is also visible on the browser console. So that means our reducer is functioning, our button click is functioning, and we are able to update the state. There is another way using which we can write our dispatch function for connect. Let us see that. Redux gives us bind action creator using which we can reduce the code that we write inside dispatch function. So let us import that bind action creator and see that in action. So instead of returning an object manually from map dispatch to props, we will return a bind action creator. Bind action creator takes two parameters and both of which is mandatory. The first one is an object which contains key and values. It can be anything and the value should be a action function. So we are going to add an object and our action function is action. The second parameter that this bind action creator takes is dispatch function. And remaining things will be taken care by this bind action creators. And we can check the changes again on our browser console and UI. Just reload your UI and see the things in action. And we are seeing that we are getting the same changes with bind action creators. At this point of time, we know the things which is required for using Redux in React or React Native application. Let us discuss about the use case where we require to intercept the change in Redux state. So for doing this, we will have to introduce the concept of middleware. Technically, middleware is placed just before the reducer. So whenever you call dispatch, it will pass through the middlewares and then it will reach to reducer to finally update the state. So let us see middleware in action. For creating middleware, let us move to app.js file and there we will create a middleware function. This is how a middleware looks like. So whenever dispatch function is called, you will get an action and you can implement that action in this brackets. So let us for now put some logs here. One thing we have to make sure that when dispatch call comes to this middleware, the call should pass to next middleware or reducer. So for doing that, we will have to make a next call here. So for reducer to act on the action dispatched, we will have to pass action in the next. And our middleware is ready now, and we will apply this middleware in store. So for applying it, we'll have to import apply middleware function from Redux. And the second parameter that create store takes is this apply middleware function. And this is done. Let us see this in action. So the expectation here is when I trigger this button, we should see a log from middleware and then log in the reducer. And we are seeing the logs in the same order. First middleware has come into the picture and then the reducer. Similarly, we can apply as many middlewares we want using this format. So we'll see that in action as well. So I'll create another middleware here and we'll name it as middleware 2 and update the log with the same, and I will pass this in apply middleware function and we'll refresh this app, and I will trigger that button again, and we should see two middleware logs and then a reducer. So as per the logs, we can see the order in which we will add the middleware will be executed in the same order. This middleware can be used for doing things like API calls or logging or anything that can be done before updating the state. The last thing that we are going to discuss in this video is the case when we want multiple reducers. So before seeing this in action, let us create another reducer. So for creating reducer, we are going to copy and paste the existing one, and we'll rename it as reducer 2, and we'll change the type as type 1. And now things come up. How do we use this two reducer in the same store? So for doing this, we will import combine reducers from Redux. And this combined reducer will help us use multiple reducers in same store. So we are going to create that object, and combine reducer takes an object as a parameter, and we are going to pass the reducers that we have created in this object. And the change that we have to do in create store is replace this reducer with this PR object. We'll do some modification in the reducers as well in terms of initial states, so that we don't have any matching things between two reducers. So we are going to create XYZ, and I'm going to name it as XYZ, and we'll name it as initial state 1 and pass it to second reducer, and we'll again reload it. And now we have created two reducers, and since we have added this in this store, we will have to use it bit differently in our child component. So earlier when we have done map states, we will have to change it to so that our app correctly updates itself. So we'll see that in action. Let me just reload it, and now I'm going to trigger this button, and we can see that only one reducer is executed because only one type has been matched as per the action. So that's it for this video. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, stay tuned.